have a doctorate, but it is in the humanities. So it looks really pretty. Probably the #1 brightening serum and has been for years and years. Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ulrike. I'm super happy to have you back with me on this skincare and K-beauty journey. And for today's video, I decided to talk about 3 brightening serums from Korea that are very, very popular in Korea. I would say they're probably the 3 most popular serums. I left out one brightening serum here that is usually kind of on the #1 spot together with one of the other 3, which is the ISO Eye Blemish Care Serum. The reason I left it out for this video is because I already did an extensive video review of that particular serum, so I'll link that somewhere. But the other 3 that I'm discussing today, at the moment, hyper trending. And the interesting thing about them is that they actually don't use ascorbic acid. So they're not pure vitamin C serums, but they are still called vitamin serums. So they use other things for brightening, and they are a little bit more gentle than pure high potency ascorbic acid. Now, however, the question is, of course, are they as potent and do they still work in terms of brightening? Well, I tested them all out, all 3, and so I can give you my feedback today. First up, we have a new launch. I think this came out last month. I got it pretty much the second it launched because I just thought it sounded really interesting. And so I've been testing it for a couple of weeks now. It is one of the launches from INNISFREE that have been like completely revamped. INNISFREE, very, very popular, very famous K-beauty brand. It belongs to the Amore Pacific group. They had a complete sort of relaunch and revamping, branding, packaging, everything is different now. Amore Pacific is doing this with a lot of their brands at the moment. So is LG. LG is doing the same thing with Misha. So you're seeing a lot of new stuff or reformulated stuff coming out. This serum is a completely new product, and it is the INNISFREE Vitamin C Green Tea Enzyme Brightening Serum, which comes in this glass bottle. So this is a brightening serum with vitamin C derivatives plus enzymes. It is meant to help with age spots, hyperpigmentation, and overall skin texture issues such as roughness, dead skin cells, etc. Now for the ingredients, I have to refer to my trusty notes. That's why I always look down because I cannot remember the stuff. I would probably also mispronounce some of them. But anyway, so the main key ingredient here is a vitamin C derivative, which I cannot properly pronounce. It's called 3-O-ethyl ascorbic acid, and this contains 2% of that derivative. Now, vitamin C derivatives are always seen a little bit controversially, I think, in the quote-unquote purist skincare community, or dogmatic, as I like to call them, skincare community. There are people who basically say that only those ingredients that are 100% science-backed are really ingredients that we should support. Those are the people that say that collagen is a scam, even though collagen does do something for the skin if you apply it, because it's a humectant, so it will plump up your skin. It's just that it doesn't replenish collagen. With the vitamin C derivatives, from how I understand it as a non-scientist, right? I have a doctorate, but it is in the humanities, so I am not a scientific person. My parents are scientists, but that doesn't mean that I genetically am predisposed to understand this stuff. But from how I understand it, the vitamin C derivatives are definitely not as strong as and as science-backed as pure ascorbic acid. However, there has been research done specifically on 3-O-ethyl ascorbic acid, that it is in fact quite potent, and it does do the stuff that pure ascorbic acid does as well. It seems to be the most promising of the derivatives in terms of efficacy, and it works at very low levels. So if you hear 2%, you might think, oh, that's not going to do anything because you're used to those 15% vitamin C serums. But in fact, according to what I found on the internet, 2% should be a pretty potent percentage. So don't dismiss the derivatives. They might not have as many studies behind them, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're useless, okay? I think this is sometimes a communication issue when it comes to skinfluencers who pretend to be super science-backed, that they dismiss stuff just because there might not be studies on it yet, but that doesn't mean it doesn't work, because there are also no studies on it that say, it's a scam. So 3-O-ethyl ascorbic acid, 2% should be a really good potent dosage in this serum for brightening. This serum also contains another vitamin C derivative in a lower potency, however, 0.01% of ascorbyl tetraisopalmitate. What it also contains, and this is where it gets very interesting indeed, it contains a whole host of other brightening ingredients. Gluconolactone, which is a pH day, it can help to make the skin look dewier due to its exfoliating effect. I didn't find out the percentages though. Unfortunately, they didn't tell me in the ingredients list. It also contains niacinamide, which of course is brightening, also really good for pore care and for skin barrier health. Plus licorice root extract, one of my favorite K-beauty ingredients for brightening. Glutathione, very interesting ingredient. I'll tell you more about it with the next serum. And tranexamic acid, which supposedly is really good for hyperpigmentation, although the research apparently is a little bit all over the place when it comes to whether or not it works topically. I've tried other serums with tranexamic acid, and I did always find that they really do have a noticeable brightening effect on my skin, but that's anecdotally, right? The whole cocktail of these ingredients together does make up for, I think, a very intriguing serum, which was why I decided to buy this instantly. Add to this the fact that it also contains green tea enzymes. The green tea thing is kind of the INNISFREE thing. This is what they're known for. They're kind of a bit of an eco-friendly natural skincare brand, not fully organic, but that's kind of the image of INNISFREE. And so you will always find some green tea component in all of the INNISFREE products. The green tea enzymes basically just have an exfoliating effect. So they can help lift off dead skin cells, and they can help with uneven skin texture. And they can also help a little bit balancing out overproduction of sebum. So they help if you're very oily. This is also a very hydrating serum. It contains hyaluronic acid, glycerin, plus squalane, so it also has a bit of a moisturizing effect. Metacasicide, panthenol, and carrot root extract are really good for soothing, and it is fragrance-free and alcohol-free. Phew. Not all of the serums today are. This one is. And also certified vegan, as are all INNISFREE products. This has a very interesting texture. First of all, it has tiny little vitamin beads in it. I don't know if it really is encapsulated vitamin C or if it's just cosmetic to make it look more interesting, but it does certainly create a really beautiful texture. And I have a thing for these little beads when they, kind of melt into the serum. I'm a sucker for stuff like that. So it looks really pretty. It also is a very pleasant texture, especially if you have skin that is more on the oilier side, because it doesn't feel sticky and it doesn't feel too tacky, which I think I never liked when I still had very oily skin, because it makes you just kind of feel like it sits on the oil almost. This almost has I don't know how to describe it, kind of compact and sort of almost drier texture. It doesn't leak as much when you put it on the skin. It doesn't instantly turn into water. It kind of stays in its compact gel form a little bit better than cheaper serums. You can really tell, and I have to say this about INNISFREE. I've tested another one of their reformulated serums. The textures are just A+. Really, really elegant. Just as with Laneige, I feel that Amore Pacific, you can tell that they put a lot of thought into making their textures pleasurable. And I really enjoy the texture of this so much. I also feel that This is a 30 milliliter serum, and it isn't super cheap. I think this was around $40 or even $50, but I feel a little lasts a long way. So I only need a tiny bit, and it spreads out really nicely, and it feels very potent and concentrated, which I really like about it. As for its brightening effect, which is probably the main reason why you're watching this video, to find out if it actually helps with hyperpigmentation and helps to brighten the skin, I am cautiously optimistic at this point. After roughly 3 weeks of using this, I do see a bit of an effect on my skin. It's not super dramatic, but I can tell that it helps overall just make my skin look more bright, more sort of vividly dewy, and it really helps with making it look smoother. It's not as plumping as I would have liked, but I do actually think this is meant more for younger people, to be honest. I think this is specifically for people who have oily skin, combo skin, because of the addition of the enzymes, and who need something when they, for instance, have acne marks or the first signs of hyperpigmentation. So 20s, 30s, it works for me in my 40s, and I do enjoy it, but I can't say that it's hyper dramatic. I do like it a lot, however, because again, I do see a brightening effect, and I do think the texture is just very beautiful, very unique. It hydrates. It doesn't hydrate super intensely though. So again, I would say this is great for combo skin, oilier skin, even acne prone skin, I think can benefit from this. And maybe if you're looking for sort of your first anti-aging, antioxidant, slightly brightening, very gentle serum. This next serum has definitely hit the ground running when it launched in Korea, I think also last month. This is maybe the month before. I feel I had it for a while, which is quite normal for this brand at this point. It is a very successful, very popular brand, and it is Numbuzin, and it is their Numbuzin Vitamin Concentrated Serum. They also brought out toner pads in this line, which I've also tried. I should review those at some point. This is a brightening serum that is meant to help fade hyperpigmentation, and boy, does it have lots of brightening ingredients in the ingredient list. The key ingredient here is glutathione, which was also part of the INNISFREE serum, if you remember. Glutathione, again, I'm not a scientist, so I always have to be careful what I communicate, because I can't always necessarily back it up the way that someone like Lab Muffin, Michelle, can. So always follow Michelle for in-depth research analysis on certain ingredients. I don't know if she ever talked about glutathione. From how I understand it, it seems promising in terms of what it can do for fading hyperpigmentation. However, just like with tranexamic acid, there always seems to be a bit of a question whether or not it actually can work when you just apply it topically, or if you have to ingest it. So I don't know. I also don't know. I couldn't find anything about what percentage you need for it to work. This contains how much was it? 0.01% glutathione, which doesn't sound a lot, but it might be enough. I'm not unfortunately 100% sure, but yeah, 0.01% is the percentage given in the ingredient list. And I have heard a lot of people say that it has helped them, glutathione in skincare, has helped them fading dark spots. I don't know. It is an antioxidant, and it also contains peptides that can help boost collagen production. So in any case, it is a very interesting anti-aging ingredient. Apart from the glutathione, this also contains 4% tranexamic acid, which, as I've said, I actually think is quite good for hyperpigmentation, but the research seems not 100% sure. It also contains alpha-arbutin. It didn't give a percentage, but arbutin I've talked about in my ISOI blemish serum review. Wonderful ingredient for brightening and helping with especially age spots, any type of melasma hyperpigmentation. It also contains 5% niacinamide, which is kind of the sweet spot for niacinamide for it to work without becoming irritating. Niacinamide can also help very well with brightening of the skin and with pore care as well. It also contains 3-O-ethyl ascorbic acid, just like the INNISFREE one, however in a lower percentage, 0.2%. The INNISFREE one has 2%, so quite a bit less in terms of the vitamin C content. It also contains ubiquinone, which is coenzyme Q10, which is really good for anti-aging, really potent in terms of wrinkle care, and lingonberry extract, which is another really good antioxidant plant extract. I think that was about all in terms of the, again, very extensive, very interesting ingredient list. It also contains, of course, a lot of hydrating ingredients. It even contains shea butter, so it's also very moisturizing. And it's also alcohol and fragrance-free. Most Numbuzin products actually are. They're usually very sensitive skin friendly. So, does this actually brighten the skin? Did this actually blow me away the way it seems to have blown away a lot of Koreans? I am a little bit in two minds about this serum. I can't claim that I see it having a brightening effect, which is surprising because just purely going on the ingredient list, it should be really good for brightening. But having used it a number of times now, I mean, maybe I have to continue using it. I will definitely update you once I've emptied it at the latest. But so far, after about a month, because I used it before I started using the INNISFREE one, I can't say that I saw it do much. Certainly not for my hyperpigmentation, but also overall, I don't think it really does anything that kind of lifts the dullness of my skin, which is what the INNISFREE one definitely does. Does that mean I don't like this product? No. And I tell you why I still think it is worth your while, as long as you don't expect it to be a brightening miracle. First of all, this is really hydrating. It's very nourishing even. So I feel for mature skin and for dry skin, this is a beautiful, hydrating, everyday hydrating serum. Also, the antioxidant content makes it out to be a really good anti-aging serum overall because it will help with UV damage. It helps combat free radicals, which is one of the main reasons for premature skin aging. It's just a good sort of antioxidant hydration all-rounder. And usually, as with most Numbuzin products, you can find them for a very good price point. The texture is beautiful. It's very unique because I think of the shea butter content. It just feels really richer than generally hydrating serums are. So again, for dry skin, beautiful. For very dehydrated skin, gorgeous. And it just has a lushness to it that I really actually appreciate and love. And in addition to that, even though I don't find it to be necessarily overall brightening, it does have a, shall we say, more sort of cosmetic brightening or refreshing effect. Whenever I use this, right after I've used it, my skin looks really deliciously sort of dewy. Almost like, you know, that lit from within effect you get with a really beautiful liquid highlighter, that sort of effect. So even though I don't find it necessarily brightening, I do think it gives a very glowing effect, which fades away once you wash it off. But just for pure sort of cosmetic reasons, I still kind of grab this a lot when, just like today, I'm putting on makeup. It creates a really ideal canvas for beautiful, dewy, fresh looking skin. And then when you put on really lovely, dewy makeup, it just looks delicious. For that, I really love it. I just don't think it doesn't necessarily provide what it promises marketing-wise in terms of brightening. So, mixed review, but not necessarily a flop. Just don't buy it for the brightening, buy it to look dewy, have that glass skin dewiness, and because it's a great hydrating serum, especially if you're more mature skinned or more on the dry skin side. Last but certainly not least, because in fact, guys, okay, this one, surprise hit. This is almost like a magical surprise hit, because unlike the other two serums where you look at the ingredient list and actually instantly can tell, oh, this is likely gonna work, which for the Numbuzin one didn't actually work. You would think it would, considering all the brightening, science-backed ingredients. This third serum, if you just look at the ingredients, you will probably think, I don't think that this can really fade hyperpigmentation. I don't really see how. But guys, this is the best one out of the lot in terms of brightening and fading hyperpigmentation. I don't understand it myself. Hyper bestseller in Korea, together with the ISOI Blemish Care Serum, probably the #1 brightening serum, and has been for years and years. And it is this one in its reformulated version from, I think last year is when it came out. It's the very famous Goodal, or Goodal, I think they pronounce it, Goodal Green Tangerine Vita C Dark Spot Care Serum in this beautiful yellow bottle, yellow and green. The reason why I almost avoided using this for a really long time, because I've known about this for years and years, and I always find, I don't know, I should probably try it because it's so popular, but I just don't believe it's going to do anything. It's because this does not actually contain pure vitamin C. Instead, it contains 70% green tea tangerine extract, which, according to the marketing of this product, has the same brightening effect as pure vitamin C, which I'm just very doubtful of, honestly. So I was always kind of skeptical, but Olive Young had it as at some sale, and I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna get it. You got a freebie with it as well, a little mini of the serum. I thought, you know what, for $20-something, let's just get this. And guys, this is amazing. This is actually really good. And I don't quite understand it, but I can just tell you what I experienced using it. This actually works. Now, having said that, it's not a miracle cure. I still have hyperpigmentation here, okay? Still have hyperpigmentation here. I'm still developing hyperpigmentation here. It doesn't magically cure any of that, but it really noticeably has brightened my skin and slightly faded those age spots. I truly am amazed by this product. Why? I don't know. I suspect the only ingredient I can suspect being the reason why this works so well is that it contains a little bit of alpha-arbutin. Maybe the percentage is just pretty high. I couldn't find the percentage anywhere, so I can just guess. But alpha-arbutin is a very, very strong skin brightener, so it might be from that. Or maybe the green tangerine extract really is magically as good as vitamin C. I don't know. But this really worked best out of these three serums. And I can understand now why it's so popular in Korea. Now, before you get too excited, let me just warn you that this contains essential oils. So it is fragranced. It's not fragrance-free like the other two. So if you are allergic or sensitive to fragrance, go for the INNISFREE serum if you want a good gentle brightening serum. But if you can handle fragrance and essential oils, try this because it's pretty damn good. So this is a gel texture and it is a really pleasant one. It's not maybe as elegant as the other two serums. It is quite a simple, straightforward gel texture that is not hyper hydrating. If you're going for hydration, I would also choose one of the other two serums, especially the Numbuzin one, but it's adequate when it comes to hydration. It also contains niacinamide, and apparently in the reformulation they have doubled the amount of niacinamide. However, I don't know what the percentage is, so that could mean anything or nothing. I don't know, it could be they doubled it from 0.1% to 0.1% to 0.2%, or from 3% to 6%. Who knows? But it does contain niacinamide, which, again, brightening ingredient, plus a couple of antioxidant plant extracts. So it is also good for anti-aging and prevention of premature aging. And in terms of hydration, it contains hyaluronic acid, so straightforward, humectant, hydrating serum that works well unless you're super dehydrated or super dry. The reason why it's amazing is because, again, from what I have experienced on my skin, this is really impressive in terms of what it does for overall brightening. I guess there's a reason why Koreans love this so much. I didn't want to believe it. I still don't quite know how it works. But having tried all three of these for roughly a month each, this had the best brightening effect. It also is usually quite affordable if you just wait for sales. So the only downside is that it contains fragrance. If you want brightening without the fragrance, go for the INNISFREE one. Otherwise, guys, this surprise hit that I didn't expect. It's getting too warm to film, so let's end the video here. I hope this was a helpful comparison of three of the most popular brightening serums in Korea at the moment. All of them ascorbic acid free, or they only contain very low dosages of ascorbic acid. So if you don't do well with those high potency pure vitamin C serums, which can sometimes be a bit aggravating on the skin, you might consider trying these three alternatives. The clear winner, just purely for brightening and fading dark spots, was surprisingly the Goodal serum after having tried them. But I do really like both of the other serums very much, but maybe for slightly different reasons. They still really impressed me. So yeah, I hope that was helpful for you. If you are not subscribed yet, please consider subscribing to my channel. I have a video out every week, usually K-beauty related or other indie skincare, skinfluencer, beloved brands, but I also always try to find sort of hidden gems that you might not know much about. So it would be awesome if you could stick around. Maybe also give a thumbs up to the video, leave a comment. I guess I'll see you in the next video. And until then, please take care. Bye.